we also have another exciting boiling tea story for this episode. Now, of course, our usual disclaimer, all these stories are fictional. They are meant for entertainment, enjoyment, tingles, all of these things, but never meant to be taken seriously. I want to also apologize in advance for the flickering lights. They are the only ones I currently have, but I promise we're gonna upgrade. Hopefully, not during this series, but hopefully. I was going to have my brother here with me today, but it did not work out with our schedule. Maybe next episode. I am also sticking to the new mic. This is the second time I'm using it since I did not receive any negative comments about it. So let's pour our tea and start today's story. Let me have my cup and have your cup, bestie. Okay, we are now ready to start tonight's story. The Hidden Key to Apartment 4B. It is also 3 chapters, so buckle up and let's enjoy this tea. Chapter 1. The Late Night Visitor. Willow Lane Apartments was a small, quiet building where everyone knew everyone's business, or at least they thought they did. Mrs. Diaz, who lived on the first floor, was the building's main source of all gossip, or the local tea maker. The biggest mystery was the tenant in apartment 4B, a man named Mr. Smith. He worked from home, never talked to anyone, and was always very careful about locking his door. Everyone thought he was just shy. One Tuesday night, Mrs. Diaz was looking out of her window when a fancy black car pulled up. A woman stepped out. She was beautiful, dressed in expensive clothes, and looked furious. She went straight to the elevator and up to the 4th floor. Mrs. Diaz quickly called her friend Leo, who lived right across the hall from Mr. Smith. Leo, a very angry, very fancy woman, just went up to 4B. You have to tell me what happens. Leo peeked through his door's peephole. Mrs. Diaz, I hear shouting already. She's yelling that Mr. Smith is a liar and a cheat. She keeps repeating 2 names, Victor and the contract. Mrs. Diaz held her breath. Victor? Who is Victor? And the contract? That sounds like something serious, not just a fight. Leo lowered his voice. I also saw her do something weird. She walked away from the door, pulled a tiny key out of her purse, and used it to quickly open the door to 4A, the empty apartment next to Mr. Smith. She went inside and locked it right back up. Mrs. Diaz nearly dropped her phone. 4A has been empty for 3 months. It's supposed to be ready for the new renter next week. Why did she have the key? This is more than just a fight, Leo. This is high-level tea. This fancy woman is connected to Mr. Smith and somehow to that empty the secret wall. The next morning, Mrs. Diaz and Leo met in the lobby. They were buzzing with excitement over the mystery of the woman, the key, and the names Victor and the contract. "I did some checking," Mrs. Diaz whispered. "I called the building manager. He told me the woman who bought the lease for 4A paid in cash and told him she wouldn't move in for months. She used a fake name. It was the angry woman from last night. So she rented the apartment next door just to spy on Mr. Smith?" Leo asked. "But why?" "That's what we need to figure out," Mrs. Diaz said, her eyes shining with curiosity. "It has to be about Victor and the contract." Leo, feeling brave, went back up to the fourth floor to check out the empty apartment 4A. The lock was still tight. He pressed his ear against the wall that separated 4A from 4B. He heard nothing, but then, as he ran his hand along the wall near the floor, he felt something strange. A very thin line, like a small hidden door. He pushed gently, and the small square panel of the drywall popped open. "Oh my God!" Leo whispered into his phone to Mrs. Diaz. "The wall is fake. There is a hidden space between 4A and 4B, and the space has a small metal lockbox bolted to the floor." "A lockbox," Mrs. Diaz squealed. "That's what the fancy woman is after. That's where the contract is. She didn't want to break down Mr. Smith's door, so she paid for the apartment next door just to get to his secrets through the wall." The simple apartment drama had suddenly turned into a full-blown spy mission. The tea had become explosive. And that is the end of chapter 2. I'm actually pretty excited to see the end of this story. Are you too, bestie? Yeah, let's find out together after a sip of tea. Let's move on to the final chapter. Chapter 3. The contract is broken. That afternoon, Mrs. Diaz, worried about the illegal entry, finally called the police. She didn't tell them about the wall, only that a strange woman was illegally renting an apartment and trying to break into her neighbor's things. Just as a police officer arrived at the building, the fancy woman, who was now carrying a small bag, came out of 4A. She saw the police officer and tried to run, but the officer quickly stopped her. Mr. Smith, hearing the noise, opened his door in 4B. When he saw the woman and the police, he looked sick. The woman immediately pointed to Mr. Smith. "He's not Mr. Smith. His real name is Victor. He's running from the law. I'm his wife, and I came here to find the stolen document." She reached into her bag and pulled out a large, important-looking folder. "This is the contract," she announced to the officer. "It proves that my husband, Victor, stole millions of dollars from his business partner and has been hiding here under a false name. He paid for this apartment in cash, hoping no one would find him." The police officer looked from the shouting woman to the pale, shaking Mr. Smith. The whole story, the fake name, the cash payment, the empty apartment used for spying, the angry wife, and the hidden contract all came tumbling out. Mrs. Diaz and Leo watched the whole scene from their doors. They had collected the clues, and now the complete, messy truth was served. The man they thought was shy was actually a criminal on the run. The woman wasn't just an angry lover, she was a wife trying to bring a criminal to justice. As the police let Victor away, Mrs. Diaz looked at Leo with a satisfied smile. "Well," she said, "that was the best tea we've ever had, and all because of a late night visitor and a key to an empty apartment." The building would no longer be quiet. This incredible story would keep Willow Lane busy for years. The end. So turns out the woman that they thought was the bad villain was actually the good guy, and Mr. Smith, aka Victor, was actually a criminal. Now it's weird because if my husband, hypothetically, was a criminal, if our marriage was good or okay, I wouldn't just look to get him arrested. But again, let's hope we never marry criminals. Personally, pairs, we don't marry. Yeah, we stick to our solo single lives. At least for me, I think. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the story and enjoyed this episode. I love you all so much. If you have any comments, any suggestions, any recommendations,